Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's LinkedIn Live. I'm Donna Letier, co-founder and CEO of Gardenuity, and I'm thrilled you're joining us today. We've got a really important conversation, how culture and care drive performance. I am joined by Monica Kashi, and she is going to give us a whole bunch of information, but more importantly, we're going to talk about how in a world that really measures success and output, we're going to talk about something deeper today. The conversation is going to be one that if you heard a couple of friends talking at a restaurant, you were wishing you were overhearing and part of the conversation. And it's about creating stronger, more sustainable performance from within so your culture will thrive. So I want to start today. Monica, tell us a little bit about your journey.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Donna, for having me here. I'm really excited to talk about this very important conversation. A little bit about my journey. So, I'm actually a registered dietitian, and I went to school in Boston to become a counseling dietitian. I always loved wellness, and I worked at my college's wellness center and then my graduate school's wellness center, and I was involved in making healthy lifestyles more accessible for the student population. Then, when I became an official dietitian, I was counseling, and I always missed that interaction component, being able to do a little bit more with programming, have a little bit more fun at work. And so it was a perfect fit when my role as a well-being and experience coordinator came up for a corporate setting. So I've been working with Eurest USA, contracted out to a pharmaceutical company for about a year and a half now.
I have to go back to one thing you said. Having to focus on helping people make healthier choices while they were in college, that couldn't have been an easy journey.
It was an interesting one to say the least. What's really important and what I learned then was that it's all about creating an engaging atmosphere and making it so people are enjoying learning about what it is that you're teaching them rather than you just telling them.
So you're at this intersection where you are with leaders every day. And how is it that you creatively infuse ideas from holistic well-being into the organizations you work
That's a really great question. So, one of the things that we try to focus on is having that connection in the workplace. So, a lot of the activities that I do stem from that, either being able to connect with the local members of the community or the internal organizational members. So, a lot of the things that I curate are based on what's happening seasonally, what's exciting for people to do, and also what can they do together versus individually. So a lot of the classes that we have are things where people can work together on. So we've done cooking classes where we have competitions. We've done a lot of art classes, and so people are able to paint together during our paint and sip classes. And really, it's all about getting people to sit next to someone they don't normally sit next to and create those conversations.
with. I love that you've done gardening classes as well. That's really fun. It's always fun for us to learn from those who are in this world. So how have you seen nutrition and nutritional conversations change over the last 5 years?
Yeah. So when it comes to nutrition, I think there's been a huge shift in everyone wanting to take more control over their health through these lifestyle factors, one being nutrition. A lot of push towards incorporating more whole foods into the diet, less of the ultra processed foods. And there's also been a lot more interest in growing your own food and cooking your own food from scratch, which is what I love about Gardenuity because it gives you those skills to be able to garden at home with whatever you have access to, whether you have outdoor space or indoor space. So when it comes to nutrition, a lot of people are wanting to just better their nutrition, make better nutrition choices. And a lot of that also has stemmed from now this whole push back to work, where a lot of people are trying to figure out how they can keep those healthy habits that they were once able to do while going into the office every day. So a huge part of my job, which I absolutely love, is that I do work with the dining services and I am able to turn the menus and the snacks and everything that we offer into healthier items but also make it easier to make those healthier choices. And so I've noticed a lot of people, when it's presented to them, they are able to do that.
So do you see offices having less um, office snacks like Twinkies and Ding Dongs and more healthy choices? And how do you kind of guide leaders into how that actually impacts the output of the work?
Oh, absolutely. And there's been such a rise too on the market with certain snacks where the snacks have a lot of functional properties to it. And the snack companies are giving us a lot more because consumers are asking for more out of their snacks. They want to feel energized, right, throughout the day rather than having something that's going to put them to sleep. So when it comes to a corporate setting, a lot of what we do is we call it our snacks with purpose, but we make it so it's easy for people to go to certain sections of our marketplace and see the better for you options in terms of snacking and be able to get what it is they need, whether it's an energy boost or to replenish after a workout. We have that available to them. We have it very easy to navigate as well.
Okay, I'm loving what you just said, snacks with purpose.
Yeah.
So everybody's experienced the 3 in the afternoon drop, right? A little bit of a fatigue drop. So what would a snack of purpose be a good thing to have on hand for a team in the office?
Oh, I could give you so many snacks that I'm currently loving. Well, right now we have a really great granola vendor, Purely Elizabeth. You might have heard of her. And she makes her granola is actually certified gluten-free, if I'm not mistaken. So it's great because for a lot of people who have to avoid gluten, they're able to, still be able to eat that type of granola. But that's been a really great snack to have on hand. And it's really great because you can mix it in yogurt, create a nice little parfait if you're kind of craving something sweet after lunch. The other snacks that I really love are the Bear Bells protein bars. Those to me taste like a candy bar. You will not think that you're eating a protein bar. It doesn't have that like chalky, grainy taste. And they have a ton of flavors, so you never get bored. That's always a great one to have on hand. And it's an easy 20 grams of protein too, which everyone could get a little bit more protein. And then I'd say another really great one that people have been loving is the snack called Undercover Quinoa. And you can tell I might have a little bit of a sweet tooth with all my snack recommendations.
Me too.
Undercover Quinoa is actually a women-owned company, and she makes little quinoa crisp, little chocolate quinoa crisp, and those are delicious. And those are a really great snack because they satisfy that sweet tooth, but they don't get you feeling that like sleepiness after you finish eating it. And it's whole grain, so it does have that fiber component, which as a dietitian, love.
Well, so people who know you also have the gift of being able to discover new things that they can enjoy at the office or bring home. So do you see part of your role as an educator?
Definitely. Yeah. I would say part of it is educating on the nutrition side of things with the cooking classes and the webinars and the available resources that we have just throughout the marketplace. We have a lot of flyers and handouts, and that way people who don't necessarily have the time to, engage in a full webinar, they can just stop by, grab something, take it to read, on the train home after their workday. I would say also in terms of cultivating experiences, I do love to bring in classes where people are learning these new skills. So gardening is definitely one of them. I've brought in a pottery class. I've brought in a latte artist who teaches people how to brew and make their own espresso and their own espresso art at home. So a lot of it is trying to help people learn new skills and be able to grow and find hobbies that they wouldn't normally have a chance to do because they're so busy with the work life and their personal lives and their family lives. It's giving them something that they can engage in and that they feel good about when they leave.
So, I mean, when I hear you talk, I hear you saying whole person wellness, right? So this has been a big month for mental health awareness. And I think the programs you've mentioned so far, including a marketplace of snacks with purpose, right, play into mental health. How do you see that holistically?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when it comes to mental health and trying to focus on the mental health, we can't ignore everything that's leading to it, right? And a big factor of it is the stress that you face with just your everyday tasks, responsibilities, workday. where I see the marketplace coming into that is that we're taking one thing off of someone's plate and we're taking one thing off of their mental load, which is what they're going to eat when they come to work, which I know for a lot of people, I can't even think of what to eat for dinner most of the time. So what I love about what we do is that we do have healthy options available for breakfast, lunch, snacks, etc. And again, we make it easy to navigate. So when people come in, if they're feeling like, hey, I really want to crush my workout later today, what should I eat? It's really all there for them. And they have the choices, they have the ability to, better their health with the good nutrition choices.
Do you see nutrition choices and food choices really changing seasonally or geographically? Because I know you've had the opportunity to work with people across the country. So do you see, what kind of things do you see from that perspective?
Yeah, that's a great question. People definitely eat different geographically. A lot of favorites that we have here in Boston, we might not have those same favorites in Texas, for example. So what's really great is that we also operate seasonally. So a lot of our menus that are built, they are built by a team of dietitians and chefs, and they're built to have a grander theme, but the flexibility to change it based on the guest preference. So here in Boston, in the New England area, apples are a big thing right now. Everyone's going apple picking. We have apples galore because they are just thriving in this season. So we're able to support local farms by getting their apples, but also we can incorporate those items on the menu. And so we're doing it seasonally. People are loving it. Same thing with pumpkin, and not too long ago we had peaches. Those were a very big thing. And we were able to incorporate in just different areas. So people who get really into the season, really into those flavors, have a chance to try a peach pie or a peach new syrup at the barista, some sauteed peaches to add to their oatmeal in the morning. So we really go all out when we bring in all the seasonal foods.
So you're inspiring others. Where do you get your inspiration from? I mean, are there favorite people you follow? Are there, because I know, having gotten to know you, people come to you for inspiring ideas all the time. But where do you feel like you're coming?
That's a really great question. Honestly, I get a lot of my inspiration from the general community. When I first started here after work, I would go out and I would physically just walk around the area. And being in a city, very walkable, very easy. And I would go into the little watering hole places around. I would go into their local coffee shops. I would go into their local community centers. They had a lot of recreation centers, and I would see what people are up to and what people are doing. And I would always see all the fun things and think, I could probably bring this to where I work. So I would say my community, my inspiration, the community is my inspiration, truly.
So tell me about your company. Tell me about how they recognize the need and the why for your program.
Yeah, absolutely. So Eurest USA, we are a food services company that is very focused on the guest experience and hospitality. One of the things that I really like about Eurest is that we really do care about both the people that we serve and the planet that we're on. So we care about creating good food, making memorable experiences, overall delivering a great guest experience, but we also care about how it's going to affect our planet and how sustainable the decisions that we're making are going to be. So we focus a lot on people first within our company, within our team members. We have a lot of opportunities to help people grow, get to the next level. We have a lot of opportunities for taking care of our own mental health. And then we also have a lot of opportunities for bringing things that we enjoy into the marketplace. So as I mentioned, we have menus created, but we have the flexibility to let our chefs and anyone on site just be more creative with what we're offering. And then I touched on sustainability, and I think that's a really important thing too, is that we do a lot where we track our waste, we track our carbon emissions. So we're making sure that, people are doing great, and then so is the planet. So it's really all encompassing. It's holistic, kind of like what I do here.
Well, and I read that when people, and this makes such sense to me, they become your building, so to speak, become a community, and it actually decreases turnover, because which companies who are there love, because people feel like these are my people. This is part of my community. So, do you have some programs that you repeat season after season? Are you constantly bringing in new ideas?
Yeah, so that's a great thing to note, because actually even our company, that is what we focus on, is having the seasons and having a consistent experience calendar throughout the season. So what Eurest does is that we actually do have seasonal promotions that are pre-populated into our experience calendars. And so every season, we do have the exciting things come up. So right now it's fall harvest season. So I already mentioned the apples, but we also have the pumpkin flavors coming in, a lot of the cinnamon, apple ciders, things like that. And then as we get into the summer months, then we start to celebrate going outside and picnicking and barbecuing. So they have a lot of that built in for us. So seasonally, we are sort of following the same themes. But what's really great is, now that I've been here for over a year, I feel like I'm going round two for a lot. So there's some
Yeah.
things that are favorites, people love, that absolutely come back year over year, season over season. Like we have pet therapy, which is a really, really exciting one. People love it. And we have these dog treats that are actually made from food scraps. So it's low waste. And so that's a great one that we always repeat. But then we do have the ability to level up. So some things that I saw last year that might have not been as exciting, not been as popular, I have a chance to look at, okay, well, what was good about that? What was able to improve on that? And then tweak it for the next year.
Okay, I love that. And I love, one of the things that I think you're doing is how we work has evolved, right? Back in the day, was it first one in, last one to leave? I mean, you're just keeping the grind. But I think not only organizations like yours, but the people within the organizations actually are thinking about the communities they serve and personalizing them, which I think is really, really incredible. Let me ask you a couple of kind of quick questions. Are there any chefs or cookbook authors that you follow religiously?
Wow, that is a really good question for chefs and cookbook authors. I would say Justine Snaps.
Okay.
And I say her because she has just a great outlook on cooking. She really tries to have it be plant forward, which, we care about as well here. So it's great. It's good for you, but she just gets very creative. And I love how she's able to just tie in new things. And I think that's something that I care about too, right? Is like being able to try new things. So I was actually gifted her cookbook recently. And that's why when you said chef and cookbook, I thought it's her. And I've been following some of her recipes, and it's really great. It's a great way to introduce new plants, new vegetables, new methods of cooking, and new flavors. So she's one of my favorites.
Are there any, if somebody is looking to create programming for their organization and or their building, and they're getting pushback on limited budgets? I mean, I know that actually healthy and engaged employees stay longer, produce better. I mean, the numbers of what you spend holistically are absolutely empirically proving that it is worthwhile. Like for every dollar spent, you save five in medical plans. But what advice would you give somebody new in your position, whether they were in Boston, San Diego, or Austin?
That's a really great question. I would say the best advice that I can give someone, especially if they're experiencing pushback, is focusing on the payback that you'll be able to get after. So I know for us, we are very fortunate to have this guest experience program here. And we have been tracking the numbers, and we have been seeing greater engagement. We've been seeing more people coming to events and signing up for events. We've been able to see even an increase in sales from our marketplace, even if we're not selling anything, but just that we have something going on that day. We're getting more people through the door. So we are getting that return on investment, and that's something that I would emphasize. Not only that, but we are just getting better morale overall, especially when we have the events like the pet therapy. And we're strengthening community ties at this point too. So we get a lot of people who are returning from the community, and now they know us as much as we know them, and they're part of our larger family here. So you end up, once you put it in, you get a lot back out.
Do you feel like it softens the blow for companies who are getting pushback on requiring their employees to come into the office 3 to 4 days a week?
Absolutely. I have actually had people come to my events and experiences and say to me, I didn't even have to be in the office at all today or this week. And I am here because I was so excited to do this class. If it's a new one, they're like, I've always wanted to try this. I can't wait. If it's a reoccurring one, they say, I have been waiting for this to come back. So it's getting people to come into the office, even when they don't have to be, because you're getting to do something fun. You have a really great activity. And also you get to connect with some of your colleagues as well in a non-work setting. So it's a win-win.
So you've got counterparts, and how would you how would you share with them to remember to care for themselves? You are caring for a plethora of people and organizations. How do you self-care?
That's so important. And I have to remind myself to do that all the time, even is remembering to take a step back and take care of yourself. The best thing that I can say is let yourself get engaged too. A lot of times whenever I curate experiences and events, I'm usually just a step back watching, making sure that everything's okay. And I do have some amazing people, like Heather is one of them. Whenever she comes, she always brings an extra kit for me to be able to sit in and participate. And so that's what I would recommend to anyone is sometimes when you do get people that do that, take that opportunity to also sit in and connect. Sometimes we have people who don't show up, so there's an open spot. Take that spot. Give yourself that moment to just enjoy with the people that you're serving essentially. And it creates bigger bonds too. I've been able to sit next to people who I don't always get to talk to, and I get to know them. It makes me feel more connected to them and me. And so I think that's really important is to enjoy what it is that you're doing.
Well, and I think your comments about experiences, people want experiences. That's what they're going to talk about when they get home. They're not going to recount that their, 3 Excel sheets finally collaborated with this piece of information. That they're not going to experience they had. So, a couple of quick questions. What's your afternoon snack of choice personally?
Oh, right now, I love when people ask me about food, obviously. I love a Greek yogurt parfait. And there are these, it's new. It's actually from the Nutri-Grain company, but they made these they're called Powerfuls, and they're like almost like bars turned into little bites. And I put that in the yogurt. I add some fruit and it turns into the most delicious yogurt parfait. That's my go-to snack right now.
What's your beverage of choice?
My beverage of choice, I love tea right now. And I was actually saying that to Heather when she came and visited. So I was able to build a tea garden. But I love tea. I love the hibiscus spice tea from Starbucks. That's been my favorite.
Okay, I love that. And so somebody who's trying to go from, you know, liking the candy bar in the afternoon to wanting to be healthier, what's a small micro step to help them get there?
Yeah. So I would say I never tell anyone to cut anything out. So if you tell yourself not to eat the candy bar, you are going to eat 10 of those candy bars. What I would say is to scale it back a little bit. If you're having a candy bar after work every day of the week, one of those days, let's try to switch it with a protein bar. And maybe we find a protein bar that has a similar flavor to whatever candy bar that you like. If you're someone where you like the Snickers, you like how it's caramel and nutty, I'm sure we can find an alternative for that somewhere. And so that
So
way, oh yeah.
if I were to come trick or treating at your house, what would I do?
And that's the thing too, is balance. I fully believe in balance. I will be handing out the king size candy bars for Halloween because everyone deserves a king size candy bar once a year.
That's right. Oh my gosh, that's great. Any good books you're reading right now?
Any books that I'm reading right now? So actually, I'm trying to think. I finished the cutest book ever. It's called Phantom Pond, and I can't remember who the author is, but
Okay.
it's one of those feel good books. It's mythical woodland creatures. There's like a little murder that goes on in their like town. It's very silly, very goofy, very fun to read. The fox is the detective. You follow her. She tries to crack the case. It's a very cozy wind down book. It's been perfect for this time of year when it's cold, getting dark earlier, and you're ready to just turn your brain off at the end of the day.
Finally, if somebody wants to get in touch with you personally to talk about your educational journey, how they get to eventually follow your career path, or they just want counsel on how to bring really interesting experiences to their community, how would they do that?
I would say you can definitely send me a message over LinkedIn, or you can email me. My email is my name separated by a period. So it's monica.kashi@compass-usa.com.
Oh my gosh, thank you. You know, this conversation is one that doesn't end right now. I mean, I think that the community creates the culture, and a really strong culture impacts the bottom line. So thank you for bringing really wonderful experiences. It's been a great conversation to those who joined us today. So thanks everybody for joining us. This is a conversation that will not end today. And happy fall, and we hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you everyone for joining.